Just last month that they crowned the world champions in Las Vegas during the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. One of those champions will join us on the show today to not only talk about the year, but how it all went down over 10 nights in Las Vegas.
And we're talking about a $1.5 million PRCA rodeo that is kicking off a week from today. It's your all-access pass to the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo today on Western Sports Roundup.
The Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo got underway yesterday, night number 1 out in Odessa, Texas. Who's doing well so far? We will have that for you and a lot more coming up on the show today.
Listen what it is. Come on, Boudreaux. 5 NFRs. Come on. Let's do it again. Boudreaux. Sour Patch. Hey, how many of you think Boudreaux's pumped up a little right now, don't you?
Well, welcome to the Friday edition of Western Sports Roundup. I'm Katie Lucas here with Ty McClary today. And Ty, we've got a lot to talk about on the show today. We're going to have some great guests. Reigning world champion will join us on the show. We're going to talk a little Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. That'll be here before we know it. But before we get into that, we've got some news out of the Cinch Timed Event Championship.
We definitely do. We all know the event takes place up at the Lazy E Arena. This is brand new news tonight. Of course, the roster's already been announced, but it's changing as we get closer and closer to the event. Slade Wood is actually going to be added to that roster. Of course, he's a national final steer roping qualifier on 4 different occasions. He actually replaces team roper Colton Smith, who's been dealing with some back injuries since back before the National Finals Rodeo.
Yeah, you didn't know it at the National Finals Rodeo, that's for sure, but he's actually been dealing with 2 bulged discs in his back. Early November was when he sustained that injury, just roping in the practice pen, he said.
Here's the thing with the timed event championships. These contestants are invited to compete in that event. Take someone like Colton Smith. He rodeos for a living, obviously team roping. Dealing with an injury, that's something that happens with the timed event championship. But when it comes to maybe taking him away from his #1 sport of team roping and making a living in the rodeo arena, he's probably best off to decide, I'm going to stay away from the timed event. I don't want to further hurt my back in any way.
That's exactly what he told me earlier today. He's going to protect his back a little bit, and he said he also feels a bit limited in what he can do. And as we know, this is such an athletic feat at the Cinch Timed Event Championship. You have to compete in 5 events. Typically, they're events that aren't your normal, and it takes a lot of athleticism to rise to the top. So if you're not feeling 100%, this is not the event for you.
No, not at all. There's a list of the contestants. Of course, you're seeing there, Ketch Kelton was the champion at that event a year ago. He's back to try to defend his title. 5 events, by the way, and they get 5 go-rounds. It's quite an Ironman. That's the reason they call it the Time Event Championship of the world. Yeah,
it's definitely an event that you want to watch. But there's another one going on right now. The Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo kicked off with their first performance last night out there in Odessa, Ty. They run into the 17th. In the middle, they take a few days off of pro rodeo action, but they've got the slack, Super Tuesday team roping, the open breakaway roping. But here's how it looked after night number 1.
Yeah, and if you missed any of this, of course, from last night, you can always go back on our Cowboy Channel app and check it out for yourself. How about the Wheeler, Texas man? That's Clayton Heber-Moss. Of course, he teamed up with a Butler & Son horse, Looker. I realize it's not the big 88 or 90 or 92, but 78 points for the first night of action. You can see, I think the judges probably saw that his feet were kind of down in the cinch area a little bit. That's probably not the reason up in the high 80s, but no matter what, Clayton leads the way so far. He's started off the season pretty good because he placed at Jacksonville, Florida just last week.
Yeah, moving on to the steer wrestling, here is a veteran, Trell Etbauer, 4.4 seconds to kick things off. A little bit of a wrestling match here. This was not easy to be 4.4 on this steer. You can see Ty, he's a little hard to handle on the ground. He actually almost got away from Trell for a moment, so great recovery right there.
Absolutely. For the Linderman Award winner, you can see that steer tried to set up just a little bit misrun. Thankfully, Trell got him trapped and kept his hands on him. That might place and get a little money out there. We'll have to wait and see. Lots of rodeo action still left, obviously, there in Odessa, Texas. When you look at the saddle bronc riding, that is Braden Betsworth. He's a young man, just 19 19 years old, makes his home in Garden City, Kansas. 79 points on Last Dance of Benny and Rep Butler and Cruz bucking horse out there in Odessa just yesterday.
Just a good ride right there to start things off. Looks like a strong horse from the Butler and Son Rodeo firm. In the breakaway, Mackenzie Dowell was 1.5 seconds. And Ty, as best we can figure it, this is the new arena record. Breakaway has only been in Odessa for the last few years, and it's been a fast setup since the beginning.
And it seems like that every year. I mean, we've seen them be 1-8, we've seen them be 1-7. I think they've even been a 1-6 to win the rodeo out there. But I agree with you, Katie. I think unofficially we can say this might be a new arena record so far in Odessa. That's the thing. They still got lots of rodeo action left to go.
In the tie-down roping, a little bit of a tough night for our ropers there, but Jacob Heron was 12 4 seconds. You can see these calves are feeling fresh. They're feeling a little froggy, but he got things done.
And I know most of you tie-down roping fans out there can see the same thing that I'm looking at, but that is not a little calf by any means. That
one's held over from last year.
I think so, yeah. They might have kept the same calves there all year and just roped the calves from a year ago. But anyway, who knows? 12-4 for Jacob Heron right there. Makes his home in Nebraska. In fact, he won Big Rodeo up there in North Platte, Nebraska, right there in his home state last season.
All right, in the barrel racing, Maylee McCrary, 14.46. Look at this smooth run that she put together here, Ty. What a great way for her to kick things off.
Things have been going pretty well for her here lately. She got her some good money up at the Denver qualifier just back earlier this season. So Maylee is having a great season already early, and of course kicking things off in Odessa there yesterday. That looks good at 14.46 to be leading the rodeo.
All right, we had a look at this ride already in the show, but it's worth another look. Boudreaux Campbell was 90 points on Sour Patch from Powder River Rodeo. I think he earned every single one of those 90 points, and safe to say he was pretty happy about that.
And he should be pretty proud of that. When you go 90 points anywhere in the country, that is worth it. The 5-time NFR qualifier. He's ahead of the rest of the field, 6 seconds, by the way. 84 is in the number 2 spot. Don't forget, Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo continues tonight with performance number 2. That's at 9:30 Eastern time. And of course, you can catch it right here on the Cowboy Channel, so you won't want to miss that. And if you listen to the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo, you hear that guy's voice. That is Hall of Fame announcer Randy Corley. He is going to join us coming up here on the show, so we invite you to stay with us here on Western Sports Roundup.
And later in the show, we're headed to the United States Team Roping Championship. They had their Super Bowl championship team roping. We're going to congratulate those winners a little later.
Western Sports Roundup brought to you by Resistol, the official hat of cowboys everywhere. We live it every day. Sports Roundup is brought to you by Rock and Roll Denim. Live boldly. Live in Rock and Roll Denim.
That is a look at the one and only Hall of Fame pro rodeo announcer, Mr. Randy Corley. Of course, he's announced the National Finals Rodeo itself 24 different times. He's a 12-time selected announcer of the year. Of course, he's the voice at Odessa, Texas, and the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo, which got underway last night. Randy joins us right now on the show. Randy, welcome to Western Sports Roundup. Thank you for joining us. And Randy, as we get into this with you, you're not retiring by any means, but you're going to take a few steps back, starting to slow down just a little bit. But with that being said, at great rodeos like Odessa and the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo that you've been a part of for so long, your voice is, whether it's the opening ceremonies, the great prayer that you give before the performance gets underway, all of that being said, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot, is there some memories that kind of take you back to Odessa that you always love coming back there at the beginning of the year, each and every year?
Oh, man. You know what, Ty, Katie, there's so much that has gone on over the years, and I can't count how many years. I know who was contracting then. I know who is now. Some of the memories that I'd go back on, the good pickup men we always had here, and that doesn't exclude you, but, you know, Carpenter and those guys that came around, and the fun we had with all of that. And we'd always go, you know, there are saints among us and a lot saintier now than we were maybe back then, but go having a beer at a couple of the local pubs. But mainly it was the rodeo. Mainly it was the fact that you had a lot of local, really good people, and maybe one of the hardest rodeos to really get that crowd cheering in, but they're not stupid. They know what they're doing. You work them a little bit and you walk out like you've had a hard day.
How much do you focus on that in a rodeo like Odessa? As you said, these are some veteran rodeo fans. They're not going to just cheer for anything they see in the arena. How hard do you work on that and strive to do better for those fans?
Well, you know, Katie, one of the big things I think that happens, we use a lot of music. We have Benji here. He's really good at pumping that music up when we need it at the most. I mean, I believe, and announcers have changed, and that doesn't mean it's good or bad. I've always believed that action, if you give them a little boost in the crowd and maybe pump it right there with music, they're going to cheer. But they know that it's this much or that much. And then all of a sudden, last night we had a 90-point ride, and it didn't take a lot of pumping right there, even from these veteran fans. A crowd knows. It isn't that you don't have to guide some of them, but not many of them.
Randy, I'm pretty sure that I know the answer to this question, but I'd like for you to share with our fans at home that are watching, who's someone that kind of mentored you and helped you get started and get your career going all these years?
Wayne Brooks. No, no. He's a beautiful friend of mine. Hadley Barrett, the one and only. Bob Tallman was always good to me. Hadley Barrett is... Well, I got an HB on the side of my hat over here. Always do. Hadley, in my opinion, there'll never be anybody that claims what Hadley Barrett is to me. And he had 3 children. He had a son, Trent, and a daughter, Kim, and both wonderful people. And then he had Michelle. Michelle was a barrel racer. And I was working a little nightly rodeo for world champion Bill Smith, and I watched her. I was at North Platte for a year or two, and I got to thinking how much Hadley had tried to help me, and I sure owed him something. So I went ahead and asked Michelle on a date. that may not be, that is not true. All right. If she watches this, I'm in trouble. She is just the light of my life. And 41 years, almost 42. Well, half a year away. There's not a year that hasn't gotten better. Every single year we've enjoyed, and it's going to continue with the help of God. And that's probably why I am going to back down a little. I'm no spring chicken. I'm 74. I don't mind telling anybody. I feel pretty good for 74. But I'm going to spend more time with Michelle, except pickleball. I'm not playing pickleball. She's pretty big on that. But we're going to travel some more. We love it, and I love her to death. And I couldn't have been so blessed 3 years ago when I first met her.
Oh, Randy, you talked about the legacy that is Hadley Barrett, but you'll be leaving a legacy of your own that spans several decades. When people look back on the work that you've done, what do you hope that they remember most about you?
Katie, I think first off, you guys, that I'm sincere. I really am. I love to joke. Part of that's probably of insecurity, just trying to stay on the right mode. But I am sincere. I enjoy people, even ones that might rub you a little wrong. I try to figure out a way that I make them right. And after all of these years, more and more these days, I walk away knowing God, I think, appreciates a lot more what I am now than I was 40 plus years ago.
Randy, one thing that's always impressed me for so long, of not only when I was still going to the rodeos, working as a pickup man and roping and all the things I did, but even now working here at the Cowboy Channel and rodeos that you're at, whether it's Odessa, San Antonio, Austin, I could go on and on for the list. But one thing that I've always loved about you is it was just that great even keel of Randy Corley, a beautiful voice, carrying the crowd, taking care of not only the rodeo fans that we know, like in Odessa, Texas, or even taking care of the newcomers that have maybe never been to a rodeo. You seem to always keep that in mind, and then along the way, tell them the stories of these great pro rodeo athletes. That's something I think you've done a tremendous job at all these years.
Wow, Ty and Katie, those are nice things to say. You know, you spend a lot of time working and doing homework. If I'd have worked this hard in school, I'd have been a valedictorian. You sit all day, and Michelle helps me now. She's slowed her timing down some. Not slowed it down. She's very good, but she's not going to as many. She helps me with a little of the homework. She learned AI, of all things. She told me we're going to use AI, and I went and got my gloves and was headed to the barn. I thought we were going to artificial inseminate something, but you can find a lot of things there. You just got to make sure they're right.
You know, last night you kicked off the first performance of the 2026 edition of the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo, but on the final night, it will be your last night announcing there in Odessa. What kind of emotions are you going to feel as you step into the announcer stand?
Well, they dedicated the rodeo, and you've been here, Ty. They always dedicate this rodeo to somebody from the committee or or community, I mean, that's always done something for it. I don't think I deserve the recognition that some of those people, and it really hit me hard last night. And Garrison Allen is coming in, working the last 3 performances with me, and I think he's probably somebody that might be able to take this over for him. I wouldn't have said it if I didn't mean it. Benny and Rhett Butler like him. So I think they've got a great young talent. He reminds me a lot of me back when I first met Hadley Barrett. He's just, Sammy Andrews asked me in Prescott a year ago, he goes, I was just walking by. He goes, Randy, is there a young Randy Corley I can get a hold of? I never even looked back. I just said Garrison Allen. He's that good. He's got so much growing to do. So I think I'm hoping I'm leaving him covered. That's not going to make it any easier on a rodeo that I've loved as much as I've loved this rodeo.
Well, and just to reiterate to our fans, folks, Randy Corley's not going away. He's just stepping back a little bit, slowing down a little. You're still going to hear him at some more great rodeos across the country. Randy, thanks for doing this with us today. Congratulations on a wonderful, wonderful career that continues. And I know Odessa is very special to you in the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo. And I hope the rest of this week and next week goes wonderful out there for you.
Okay. Thanks, buddy. Thank you both. Katie, thank you, Ty. I love the shows. I just don't know. I'm always working when they're running. Cowboy Channel, you guys are awesome.
Well, you are awesome, too. The Hall of Famer right there, Randy Corley. So great to have him join us on this show. But, Ty, we got a lot more show left to come.
We definitely do. In fact, we will have a world champion joining us when we return. Randy Corley will be talking about him tonight in Odessa. That is because Statler Wright, the reigning saddlebrock champion of the world, he's headed to Odessa. Katie and I will get a chance to visit with him to see what all's going on and what he thinks about that world title that he just won. That's all coming up on Western Sports Roundup.
Yeah, this is the horse's brother with just 90 points on to win the go-around. Statler Wright. He'd like to be 90, and he might. This is as good a ride as Stetson put on him. How good are these boys? Unbelievable. That is so cool.
Absolute legend here, coming out of here with this family, a dynasty of saddle bronc riding world champions in your young career. What does it mean for you to already have a gold buckle of your own?
It means the world to me. I haven't been doing this for very long, but I've worked extremely hard to get here, and for it all to pay off tonight, it just means the world to me.
I don't know if you had a chance to look at that. By less than $350 and a quarter of a point tonight made the difference between the world championship race between you and your brother Ryder Wright. Is family just everything at this moment?
It's amazing, and to be able to beat anybody in the locker room, especially my brothers, it's amazing because they're the greatest bronc riders in the world. That's why they're here, and to be able to win by just that small of a margin, that really shows that no matter what rodeo you go to, every dollar counts, and it just proves it here tonight.
Well, that was just mere moments after Statler Wright won the world title. He didn't even have a chance to really soak it up, but he's had a few weeks now. Statler Wright, thanks so much for joining us, and congrats once again on the world title.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Like I said, in that moment when you were being interviewed by Janie Johnson, that was just seconds after we'd realized that you won the world title by less than $350. Of course, with your siblings, they're right behind you. As you've had a few weeks now to kind of sit back, soak it in a little bit, what do you have to say about the world title race in 2025?
Oh, I still can't believe how it all went down. It was crazy. I don't know, to have it in that close between me and Ryder. It was, I don't know, that's how you draw it up really as a family, to go 1, 2, 3 at the NFR. And I don't know, it was special. It still hasn't quite sunk in just yet, but I'm trying to, I don't know, everyone asks me how it feels, and I can't really put it into words.
Statler, when you think about it, I mean, everybody, the top 15, when you go to Las Vegas, you all want to try to win the world title. That's what you're doing in Las Vegas. But was there a point during the week of the NFR, whether it was midway through, round 7, round 8, and where did you realize that, like, hey, this is really attainable? I can actually get this world championship?
It was probably after I won round 7. Yeah, that's when I kind of really first realized that this is, it could happen. And I don't know, it was pretty special. That I had seen Ryder get on that horse, and when I won the round on her, I don't know, I set my goals right from that day, that I wasn't settling for nothing less.
You know, that's just one of the horses that helped you to a go-round win. You also won rounds 3 and 6. How great did you draw at the NFR, but how hard did you have to push to truly capitalize every draw?
Yeah, I drew amazing. I don't know. It just seems like anything they run under me that week, that they had their day. They were really good, and I don't know. I don't know. Like my dad says, a good ride always makes a horse look good. So people could say I drew better than everyone else, but you have to ride good too.
Yeah, I want to clarify that too. I'm not saying you drew better than anyone else, but when you get a good one, you've absolutely got to capitalize. Does it add a little more pressure when you draw one that you know is one you can win the round on?
Yeah, oh yeah, especially like round 6 when I had that horse Stetson won the round on. I was a nervous wreck. I knew I had a chance to win the round, and I'd watched Stetson do it, so it adds a lot more pressure to me, it feels like, and I usually know the horse is going to do their job. I really just try to make it so I can set myself up to do mine.
Statler, you said something moments ago, the interview that we played from you and Janie Johnson right after you won the world title there in Las Vegas, that because of that win, and it was so close between you and your brothers there in the top 3 spots, especially the top 2 spots, it really matters going to all these rodeos across the country. When you think back on last season of 2025, now that you've had a couple weeks to think about it, was there anywhere throughout the year that you're like, holy cow, I'm glad I went to that particular rodeo or that little spot to win this much money to be able to come out on top at the end of the season and win a world title?
Yeah, I was actually talking to my wife the night, well, she had our baby on September 19th, and I had to be in St. George, Utah on the 20th. And I almost didn't go, and I won $500 out of St. George. And that's the one that I'm super glad I went to.
Man, it just goes to show how dedicated you have to be in order to win a world title. But moving forward into the new year, there's going to be something pretty special that they will announce about you every time you're in the chute. And you mentioned a moment ago, you feel like it really hasn't set in yet. But when you go to nod at Odessa, you go to nod at Denver, any of these initial rodeos, the announcers are going to say that you are the reigning world champion. What is that moment going to be like?
Oh, I don't know. Hopefully I'm not listening. Hopefully I don't hear it because it'll make me nervous. I'm going to try to just do rodeo just like I did last year. I don't know, try not to change anything. I don't know. I want to have a chip on my shoulder, and I want to, think I'm the best, but it's 2026. It's a brand new year. We got to start from the bottom and work our way back up. So try to just stay level-headed and keep rolling.
Statler, I want to take you back a couple of years ago, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was 2022. You won the Resistol Rookie Roundup right here in Fort Worth, Texas. And I remember during your interview after you won that, you told your brothers live on the Cowboy Channel, you said, I'm coming for you guys. You meant that. You were serious about it, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people, I usually say things with a smile and laughing, but most of the time I mean what I'm saying. So, yeah, I meant it when I said it, and I don't know, it worked out.
I told you just a moment ago in our break that you still make me chuckle when I think about what you said in your World Championship interview. You told everyone, I bet you guys didn't see this one coming. Has that been kind of the chip on your shoulder that helped propel you and motivate you to the top?
Yeah, and I did an interview right after the 10th round, and they said you come in 9th in the world. It didn't really seem like anyone seen this coming. And I said, yeah, it pissed me off, really. They talked about everyone in front of me. They talked about everyone behind me, but never said anything about me being there. And that really just lit a fire in me and made me really show up to the NFR with something to prove.
Statler, you've already obviously proved yourself as a world champion this past season of 2025. But I'm curious to know this. Because of your last name and Wright, do you put extra pressure on yourself, or do you feel like there's extra added pressure because of your brothers and their world titles, your dad and his world titles, your uncles and their world titles? I mean, we could keep going down the list. Is there a little extra pressure there that I'm part of this Wright family? I better ride these pretty bucking horses pretty good.
Not really. I've never really felt the pressure from, I don't know, my family. It's almost like it takes the pressure off me because, I don't know, if I don't win, it seems like one of them usually do. So as long as all the money and the gold buckle is going back to Utah, I don't know, it takes a lot of pressure off me.
Headed back to Wright City, USA, that is, of course, too. And, you mentioned that you're trying not to change anything in 2026. So give us a little preview. We actually caught you en route to one of your 2026 rodeos. What are we going to see tonight? Give us a little bit of a prediction.
Yeah, shoot, I'm headed to Odessa. I have a horse called Holy Water, Butler and Sons. I'd never been on it. My Uncle Spencer told me that Ryder won Lubbock, Texas on it when it was a colt. So I don't know. Hopefully this will be my third year going to Odessa, and I've won the last 2 years I went there. So hopefully we can walk out of here with a three-peat.
I was going to say, you've had a lot of good history there at Odessa and the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo. We're about to find out if that will repeat for you. Congratulations on this win. Congratulations on a world title. Can't wait to see what 2026 can do for you, Statler. We're sure proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's certainly a world title race. It was a lot of fun to watch at the NFR. And Statler talked about being excited to go to Odessa. I know he's excited to go to this rodeo as well. The Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo is just 1 week away, and we're going to give you a preview next.
And a little later on, coming up in the show, we will talk team roping. Big team roping took place up at the Lazy E Arena just over New Year's weekend. They paid out some big money. The Super Bowl of roping, they called it. We'll have those results for you coming up on Western Sports Roundup.
This is how.
The countdown is on to an event that is very exciting to us here at the Cowboy Channel. The Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo returns to Dickies Arena 1 week from today. It'll run January 16th through February 7th. There's a lot going on, so we've brought in the pros to talk about this event. We've got Cal White, our rodeo director, Lauren Lovelace Murray, the first female executive vice president. Guys, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you all for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always great to have you here because there's a lot going on with the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Let's start on the rodeo side of things first. Before we ever hit the Pro Rodeo Tournament, you are kicking things off, as always, in a big way with the Great Ranch Rodeo.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we have 23 days of exciting events, but 25 performances of rodeo that kick off with the Ranch Rodeo, followed up by the Best of Mexico celebration, Cowboys of Color Rodeo, two performances of Bulls Night Out that's returning back for the first year this year, PRCA sanctioned extreme bull riding. Directly after that, the Rookie Rodeo and 18 performances of FWSR Pro Rodeo Tournament. Let's
talk about that Rookie Rodeo. It's going to be really exciting, brand new this year, calling it the Rookie Rally. There's going to be some exciting rookies, excited rookies.
Yeah, we're very excited about the new format that we're hosting there at our show. It's going to be all the young guns of Pro Rodeo coming to compete. For $100,000 total purse. the winners of the events will get an automatic qualification into our Pro Rodeo tournament this current year, which is huge, I think, for a first-year rookie. So we're very excited about it.
Yeah, that'll be huge for some young contestants that are just starting out in their pro rodeo game. Lauren Lovelace-Murray, I'm excited to visit with you on the stock show side of things because it is very busy. What are some highlights that folks that might be coming to the rodeo during the day, what do they need to come and hit?
Sure, we're super excited this year. We're having our traditional 23-day format. We start, like you said, 1 week from today. Really excited this year to debut back the old historic Will Rogers Coliseum. We've been through phase 1 of the renovation project. So we'd love for everybody to come out and see the newly renovated Coliseum and all we have to offer with it. It'll be 100 years old in 1936. So we're trying to have it fully renovated by 2036 so we can show it off into its original fashion.
Why is it so important to preserve this history?
Oh, it's so important. It's historical for Fort Worth, and it's such an architectural gem for the city. We're so proud of it, and we're excited to let everybody come in and see it with traditional architecture, but also bring in some modern amenities and then see what our options are for us to move forward in the next phases here in the near future.
Cal, there's a couple events that'll be going on at Will Rogers that you're excited about. College rodeo and, of course, your very popular high school rodeo.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we just we added the first NIRA sanctioned college rodeo. The southwest region of the NIRA college circuit split into 2 regions, the Lone Star and the Caprock region. And the Lone Star region came to us and said, hey, we'd love to host a rodeo here in Fort Worth or have a rodeo in Fort Worth. Would y'all be interested in hosting us? And we absolutely are very excited about that. So around 400 college rodeo contestants will come and compete February 2nd through the 4th. There's only one ticketed day of that, which would be the finals, not on Wednesday, with the 4th. So they'll come out to the Coliseum and watch the college rodeo. And, you know, it's kind of a throwback opportunity to come stand on the wall and do some business down the old rodeo wall, sit in a box seat.
Be a part of history.
Be a part of history. And then the last day of the show on February 7th, we'll have the Texas High School Rodeo Shootout. And that's a newly reformatted event, and we'll have high school contestants from all over the state of Texas, champions from the 10 regions of the THSRA, and then also champions from the North Texas High School Rodeo Association.
One thing that both of you have already talked about is just continuing to innovate, continuing to push forward. Cal, for you, $1.5 million at the Pro Rodeo. That's something that you're so proud of and something you continue to add to every year.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we just we upped the purse again this year to over $1.5 million, and by the time we get done next year, it'll be around $1.6 million. And, you know, it's an effort to try and help these contestants get up and down the road to earn a living. You know, there's no salaries in rodeo, and we try to do everything we can to assist with that by bringing more money to the table. We know it costs money to go up and down the road and to help them earn a living for their family. And so then we have a bunch of nice amenities for the contestants as well. We offer them nameplates on their lockers when they show up. We help them with their gear and tack whenever they show up, give them rides, have a full-service hospitality room, and a lot of just great things for the contestants, and which makes it better for the fans if the contestants show up happy, right?
Oh, certainly. Lauren, for you, the first female executive vice president. You're making history. Why are you so proud of that?
Well, I've been at the stock show for about 20 years now, and it's just been such a great place to be, and it's quite an honor. You know, it's a little intimidating at times, but I'm also just honored to be in this position and to get to move forward with the organization as it does continue to grow.
What are some of the innovations that you've been proud to be a part of?
I primarily was in the horse show area for the length of the show, and we've had great timed event challenges. We've added a Grand Prix event last year, an Escaramuza and Charo event, and so a lot of those events have been really fun to be a part of as we grow. But I think on other sides of the events that we have is expanding all of our scholarship programs has been really, really important for our organization as one of our ways to give back to the community. We were able to award about $15 million last year in scholarships, grants, premium dollars to Texas 4-H and FFA students primarily. And I think that it's just important for us to continue to find different ways that we can support the youth of Texas.
Yeah, supporting great futures for those young
100%.
men and women.
It's so important.
It's so exciting, too, to be a part of, and we're about to be a part of that, all three of us, in just a week from right now. Cal, if anyone is going to tune in, whether it's on the Cowboy Channel or to come in person, what is one thing for you that they need to watch out for?
You know, it's a great rodeo. It's my favorite rodeo, obviously, and I'm very partial, but we're a top 5 rodeo in the nation, so there's always something new, right? You know, and this year we're going to have a new lighting package that we brought in, and state of the art, and it's going to add a lot of entertainment ambiance. And we'll have Matt Merritt, Man in the Can, out there doing the walk and talk. And Chick-fil-A fan of the day is always a big deal.
Get your costumes ready.
Get your costumes ready and show up and win Chick-fil-A fan of the day. You get 52 Chick-fil-A sandwiches and a beautiful buckle, trophy buckle. So that's always a big hit for the kids in the local community. So if you're coming out to the show, participate. And there's a lot of other things to get involved in with our show, not just the rodeo, but the livestock show, 3 museums, Carnival Midway, and a variety of other activities for everybody to come out. The entire family, you, for instance, that has a new baby, can bring your kids out and enjoy the show.
Hey, we'll be there. Lauren, for you, it's very clear with both of you how sincere you are about this event. You both love it. You're so proud to stand behind it. But what makes it so special for you?
I think that we have been really, really lucky to have such a traditional event, but bring in lots of new and exciting, innovative things as well. You know, whether it's from new events, whether it's from, you know, a new lighting package like Cal mentioned, or the renovation of the Coliseum, is that, you know, we do maintain the tradition and the Western heritage, but we're trying to keep moving forward and up our game a little bit every year.
Yeah, I can certainly attest to that. You're all about honoring our history, but propelling us into the future. And the future is very near. 1 week from now, we kick off the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. It'll run until February 7th. A lot of exciting rodeo performances coming your way. And I know you guys are busy, so we're going to get you out of here. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate you coming in to help us talk about the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo 2026 edition. We'll be here before we know it, January 16th through February 7th. That's coming to you on the Cowboy Channel. But coming to you next on Western Sports Roundup, we're going to talk about the USTRC's Super Bowl Championship of Team Roping. That's next on the Cowboy Channel.
So 20
Well, every week on the Cowboy Channel, Justin McKee will be taking us inside pro rodeo. This week, the story of Anthony Lucia's beginnings in the pro rodeo world. And then Trisha Aldridge and Idios Pantalones, they had an amazing rags to riches story. And you're going to hear all about it on Inside Pro Rodeo. We're also going to take a look at the stock market and the highest scores from the National Finals Rodeo. Let's take a look right now at the bareback riding.
We didn't get near as many 90s as I was hoping for, by the way, but we did see some amazing rides. And the effort from the animals, as well as the cowboys, off the charts. And as always, the Stock Market Report is brought to you by Pete Carr Pro Rodeo. And we begin in the bareback riding. And how about the world champion bareback horse, Lunatic Heaven from Brooklands out of Montana? following up an enormous regular season with 2 of the 3 biggest scores of this year's Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. You might remember Cade Berry won Cheyenne with a 93. Here's Rocker Steiner winning round 5 at the NFR for the 3rd highest score of this year's National Finals, 89 points, with Lunatic Heaven, the world champion from Brookman Rodeo Company. And there's nothing like a Saturday Night Fever celebration when you buck like this. This is Disco Party from the Calgary Stampede, number 2 for Horse of the Year. Got his 4th 90 of the season with a 90.5 in round 10 with who? Yeah, he did it again. This is what got him the World Championship. Rocker Steiner gets the win, and that Disco Party always putting on a show. And the top score of this year's Wrangler National Finals Rodeo goes to Lunatic Heaven again from Brooklands, the world champion. And Lunatic Heaven helped answer Kate Saulnier's prayers with this 90 3/4 scores in round 10 to get that win. That was the 4th 90-plus ride of the season for Lunatic Heaven. Congratulations to the top 3 barebacks of the NFR.
That's just a little taste of what you're going to see on Justin McKee's show, Inside Pro Rodeo. In fact, it's coming up right after we finish up here on Western Sports Roundup. It'll be this evening at 7 o'clock Eastern time, so you won't want to miss that. Let's talk a little team roping. The Super Bowl championship, they call it, up in Guthrie, Oklahoma. That took place at the Lazy E Arena just this past week. And, of course, here's a couple guys that won the 8.5 rope, and that's G.R. Carter on the heading side. The guy on the heeling side, Jeff Schieber, you're going to hear his name a lot. But I want to focus on GR for just a moment. A former all-time leading quarter horse jockey. He rode horses to over $40 million worth of winnings in his time spent in the saddle on the quarter horse racing tracks, but he's a pretty darn good team roper, too.
Yeah, I love seeing the celebrities in the horse world that eventually make their way into the team roping game, but Jeff Schieber was, I think, kind of a celebrity during this Super Bowl roping because he was winning left and right. He also won in the 9.5 with Aaron Davis from Springdale, Arkansas. Jeff was heeling for this run, 35.68 on 4. Picked up another $10,000 for the win, but Ty, he wasn't done yet.
No, he laid his heeling rope down and then decided to pick up his head rope and make his way into the 10.5, where he and Jody Stamper, both those guys from Oklahoma, look at there, they pocketed a little over $12,000, roped 4 steers in a total time of 33.22. That's doing it pretty quick in some team roping. That was the 10.5. Thank goodness. Now Jeff's done. He won 3 ropings, and okay, that's enough, Jeff. Get out of the arena. It's time to go on to the next one.
He decided to share the checks a little bit with some of our other categories here. The 11.5 was won by Alex James and Jamie Stover, 32-6 on 4 for them. In the 12.5, Clint Broyles and Dustin Bufford, 31-6 for them. Good team roping.
It definitely was, and we featured it right here on the Cowboy Channel app, so you can go back and watch that at any time if you want to check out the Super Bowl champions team roping that took place at the Lazy E. Stay with us. We got a little highlight, a sneak peek, you might call it, of the Diamond Cross Ranch. That's a series that's taking place right here on the Cowboy Channel. We'll tell you about it coming up after this.
Stop
Back to Western Sports Roundup, one of our brand new series that you've been viewing here on the Cowboy Channel known as Diamond Cross Ranch. It's about a ranching family up in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. There's a brand new episode coming your way this Sunday. Here's just a little teaser of what you're going to see.
It's a very hard day. And of course you feel terrible what you take your children through.
I didn't know this, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but we found out from Cody having a conversation with Mom that throughout her whole life she's never owned a diamond, which we thought was kind of sad since we're the Diamond Cross Ranch, but also given all the sacrifices she's made for the family and for all of us. You know, when the house burned down, I think she lost a lot of her jewelry. I don't think she had any diamonds then. I think it was a lot of like turquoise.
Yeah, and a lot of her silver work too.
Yeah, and then, you know, there's a pretty long stretch of time when things were pretty tough, when I just don't think jewelry was even really on her mind. Things were pretty stretched thin.
Pretty tight.
But I think sometimes when we're doing a little better, it's good to just take a moment and celebrate, because you guys have worked so hard this summer.
Especially her. Like, she never does anything for herself.
Oh, Jane's so selfless.
Yeah.
So we went, and as a family, we got her a pair of diamond earrings that'll be from all of us.
What?
And Lauren and Kirby helped pick out a pair they thought she'd like.
What?
So we'll just pass those around.
Oh my gosh, yeah, she would love these.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted something like, just like really beautiful, but like simple, that she could wear like every day, you know?
Nice.
Do you think she'll like them?
I think she'll love them.
Oh, very nice.
We're both very simple people. We know that. Yeah. It's like she made our wedding rings. Do you know that?
I didn't know she made them.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What's the plan to give it to her?
Should we all get a card and write individual notes? Or if you had time to write a little something, maybe we could even do like a little dinner toast and
you'd be really good at if you wrote something.
One thing that I think this summer has put into focus for us is just that we've been through all these dark things as a family. Feels like we're kind of torn apart right now.
The fire was tough on all of us. Being effectively homeless, we would move to different apartments.
I think my mom maybe had $500 in the bank.
My mom would knit hats and sell them at the winter bazaars around town. She would clean houses. My mom really just worked her ass off to make it work, right, and provide for my brother and I. And she worked so hard to just do it right and do it for us, so that we're able to, just be here. And she spent her life really making things work for us. I feel like it's now our turn to be able to give that back to her.
That brand new episode is coming your way this Sunday evening at 7 Eastern time. And of course, if you've missed any of the previous episodes, you can go back on the Cowboy Channel Plus app or our YouTube channel to check it all out.
All right, it's time now to recap our top 3 headlines from the day, brought to you by Vetericyn Clean Treat Heal, advancing animal wellness.
NFR team roper, we announced it earlier in the show, Colton Smith has decided to step away from the Cinch Timed Event Championship due to some back injury that he's dealing with. Steer roper, national final steer roper Slade Wood is going to replace him.
And the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo gives contestants 1.5 million reasons to get entered up every year. They kick off their rodeo action January 16th. The finals is February 7th.
Some big money was handed out this past week at the Lazy Arena in the Super Bowl Team Roping Championship. We told you about a handful of them. They paid off some big money there at the Lazy. The Lazy's pretty popular right now. The team roping going on, and we're talking about the Cinch Timed Event Championships. That's going to take place up there pretty soon. So Lazy's got lots happening up there.
We're also talking about a different venue too in Odessa, Texas, the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo. They're getting ready for performance number 2 this evening. I like their schedule that they have too. They rodeo through the weekends, and then during the week they have their slack and open breakaway, their Super Tuesday team roping, and then they wrap things up with a few more performances of rodeo action. We talked about what happened in performance number 1, but I think there's maybe some leaderboards that might do a little bit of shuffling. Thank thanks to the roster for performance number 2.
Yeah, when you look at it, there's definitely some big names scheduled to compete tonight. One of those we talked to earlier in this show. In fact, we caught up with Statler Wright on his way to Odessa, Texas. He's headed back to Odessa, and here's the thing. Not only is he the reigning world champion saddle bronc rider from 2025, things in Odessa seem to work out pretty good for this guy, because you look at that video right there, the last 2 years, 24 and 25 of Odessa, he's left there as the champion. So I would say, yeah, he's got a pretty good reason to show back up at the Sandhills Rodeo.
And I remember, Ty, in 2024 when he jumped out and won Odessa, that was a really big moment for Statler Wright in his career. That was him kind of introducing himself to the pro rodeo world and saying, hey, I'm here to play and I can win.
I'm pretty sure it was that year that he left Odessa and then went out to Tucson, Arizona, won that big rodeo at the La Fiesta de los Vaqueros, and was like, okay, yeah, here is Statler Wright. You're exactly right. He kind of put his name on the books right there. Of course, went on to go to his first NFR that season of 2024 as well. Statler going to be in Odessa tonight.
So speaking of reigning world champions, Riley Webb is also slated to compete this evening in Odessa. Of course, he's your three-peat champion in the tie-down roping, just to walk away with his 3rd world title in December of 2025. And he's always one that I watch out for. Doesn't matter the setup, doesn't matter the cattle, the conditions. Riley Webb can win a rodeo.
Yeah, you can definitely count on that to be one to watch tonight as far as Riley goes. Of course, as Katie just mentioned, as you just said, he just finished winning his 3rd straight title, so he's obviously coming off a big high there at the National Finals Rodeo. In fact, if you remember, he's the first tie-down roper to three-peat 3 in a row since Roy Cooper did it back in the early 80s. So, and of course, set a regular season earnings record, and just the list goes on and on for Riley Webb.
Speaking of those resumes that just go on and on and on, Haley Kinsel, she's also on the draw tonight. She's going to be, she wrapped up the 2025 season as the number 6 barrel racer, but she's also a multi-time world champion as well. She's always exciting anytime she enters the arena. And whether she's riding Sister or some of her younger horses that she has coming along, she is always a threat.
Yeah, when you look at it right there, she will always be a threat. Of course, $3 million in career earnings for her as well, over a couple $100,000 just on the season of 2025. And of course, it's fresh off that great horse Sister winning her 2nd Horse of the Year title. So don't forget, Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo coming your way this evening right here on the Cowboy Channel. You won't want to miss it. It continues all the way through next week, as we just told you. So lots coming your way on the Cowboy Channel, including Denver.
Yeah, another rodeo that is about to kick off here. The National Western Stock Show and Rodeo runs January 15th through the 25th. You can catch it all right here on the Cowboy Channel. Truly feels, Ty, now like we have kicked off the 2025 season.
We definitely have. And stay tuned here to the Cowboy Channel, because immediately when we finish up, Justin McKee's great show Inside Pro Rodeo is coming your way here in just a couple moments. That's going to wrap it up for us here on Western Sports Roundup. For Katie Lucas, I'm Ty McClary. Have a great rest of your week.